Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to another video. In this one we're reacting to a heated debate. Myron, I don't know, I've seen him before, I don't know exactly who he is, versus SNEAKO on Muslims in, it says in the country, but I'm assuming they mean America. So I guess let's get into it. I don't really know what to expect. I just saw another video of someone reacted to it popped up in my feed. And I didn't pay attention to it, but then this popped up in my feed. So like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and get to it. Let's go.
Agree with each other
Of course,
fundamentally.
but I would say
a lot of them say that each other
they don't. Jesus. They all believe in Jesus.
They disagree with each other
of course,
fundamentally.
but I would say
a lot of them say that each other are.
If they believe in Christ, they're a Christian to a degree. What denomination isn't really as relevant is if they believe in Jesus as their Lord and Savior, that makes them a Christian.
The Protestants criticize the Catholics for praying to Mary.
See, that's arguments within themselves, but in general, they're all Christians because they all believe in Jesus. There's different,
yeah,
like,
but by
like
your
Muslims,
logic,
for example, right? There's Sunnis and there's
Shia.
But we don't look at them differently with our faith. Honestly, we really don't. They pray in the same mosque. They do some funny shit praying on rocks.
That's not all true.
But they pray in the same mosque in general.
Sometimes.
Nah, I don't know about that one, man. I mean, I've only seen that once, and it was considered a Shia mosque, and they were just saying anyone could pray there. That's Sunni. It's the only time I've seen it.
There's some Shia mosques,
but they can pray alongside.
By your logic,
they're not considered kuffars. They're not considered kafirs. They're just misguided. Sunnis.
By your logic, then only Protestant Christians should be the non-guests in America if it was founded by Protestant Christians.
No, because they're all Christians. I look at them all as Christians. Denominations. This is literally why the whole separation of church and state was a thing. Was because was to avoid that problem, fights between themselves. So they literally instructed that in place.
I don't really know what's going to happen in this argument or if it's going to like inform it because it just kind of jumped into the middle of it. I mean, if they're talking about all denominations of Christians, like Catholic and all that, I also deem them all as Christian because, well, they are a they're all form of Christianity. So if that's what he's saying, then yeah, that makes sense. As far as the Shia Sunni thing, that no, same.
To deal with that very problem you're talking about, which is like the different sects in Christianity.
Okay,
that's why they separate. That's why the separation of church and state was instilled, was to keep Baptists, Protestants, Catholics, and all these other guys from fighting each other. Because this is the problem that they had in England with the Catholic Church and everything
else. So you
else.
believe we're guests in our own country?
I believe as Muslims we are guests in America, yes, because America is not a Muslim country like Saudi Arabia, like Egypt, like Sudan, like UAE, like Qatar. These are Muslim countries. When we go there, we respect and we don't say a word. When we were in Dubai, we had jalabiyas on. I spoke Arabic whenever I had a chance, right? We assimilated. We respected that culture, right? As even the first time before you reverted, we respected that culture because we understood we are guests there. I think Muslims need to exercise the same thing in the United States.
Yeah, I know, because we're literally visiting Dubai. Yeah, I was born here. Like, what do you? It doesn't.
Yeah, but the Islamic faith, we're American citizens, but the Islamic faith is not. There's
nothing. I mean, you're just making up America.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, man. I'm a guest in my country. Good. What? Huh? I mean, he's trying to say. Yeah, no, it's literally in the amendments of the country that freedom of religion. That means anyone's able to practice any religion in this country, which means you're not a guest in the country based off of religion.
Like we're 1% of the population. That
mean you're a guest.
That this is not a Muslim country.
You can single out anybody and say that they're a minority to some extent.
Yeah, just because you're a minority, that doesn't make you a guest. Like, that makes zero sense. Everyone to some degree is a minority in some way. Everyone's a minority in some way. So it doesn't work that way.
It's not. You don't need to describe somebody just by their faith. You could say that your skin color is, or where you're from, or.
But when we're talking about
people
faith,
have glasses.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Hindus, Jews, Muslims, we're all guests in America.
Why?
Being honest, we all are. I'm not just saying this is as Muslims we're guests. I think.
What about minorities? Are minorities guests in America?
Like, what do you mean minorities? Like blacks and shit like that? Or
anybody not
Asians?
White? Anybody not white?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah.
So also guess.
Yeah.
What is this guy talking about, man? Okay, let's just.
White people built and founded this country, bro. We're all guests here.
Okay, so the only
Okay, that's no.
Because is entitled to white Christians only. They're the only non-guests here. So you have to
the
be
founders.
To be a true American, you need to be a white Christian.
I never said that. I never.
You said everyone else is not a guest.
Did say that.
We are Americans, but we are guests here because we did not found this country. We're Americans, but like we're not the.
No one living in America right now or on Earth right now founded this country. It was founded as a country hundreds of years ago. So,
I guess original Americans.
Okay, so what about Europeans, like people with second-generation Europeans who came here?
Well, I'm talking about like the people here that like their family's been here for generations, fought in the Revolutionary Wars, whatever.
Okay, so if I'm a white guy and my parents immigrated here after World War II, and I'm a white Christian, and my parents are from Germany, all right?
And you came here after World War II.
Yeah, am I a guest?
I would say from framers' perspective, if you came like you were here in the 1700s, like if you have lineage back to like the colonial individuals.
What is that, like 5% of the country?
Probably not as much, yeah.
I mean, probably so not. So everyone's a guest here.
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV.
What am I looking at? What is it?
Seen online.
A lot, yeah.
So whose country is it? It's just those 5% of people?
I would say it's America is a white majority Christian country, and we are guests here. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Guys, this is making me mad. I don't know who this guy is or who told him this was a good idea to talk about this. Because this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is hurting my head.
So the only people, so 95% of people here are guests.
Yeah, dude. Nowadays, yeah, with the mass immigration, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
95% of people.
A lot of them, yeah, a lot of them are guests.
Okay, so then,
and this is why we have a lot of the problems we have because we have all these people coming in, bringing their cultures, not assimilating, not learning language. Like New York City, I'll give you an example. New York City is a perfect example. New York City is the definition of a melting pot. You got people from the Caribbean, from Africa.
It's always been that way.
Well,
since like the 40s predominantly.
It's been but. It's
even before that, it's always been
even more so now.
With Ellis Island, the turn of the century, it's always
of course, and it's always the Statue of Liberty. Give us your week and whatever. Cool, whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is like New York City is a perfect example of like why this multiculturalism, mass multiculturalism, doesn't work a lot of the times.
How's it not
working? I think New York City is a failed city.
It's really safe. This is the least amount of crime we've had in a while.
Bro, New York City.
Summer,
okay, that's fine. But
how is it a failed city? It's a great city.
It's a failed city, bro.
But based on what metric?
I think it's a failed city. Crime metrics, dirtiness, cost of living has been going through the roof as the decades pass. I think New York City is a failed city, bro. And I think
so. When was New York City?
And if it were not for its historic and premier position as a
hold on, let me a second. I noticed my webcam was kind of blocking his face, so I moved it.
A major city in the United States, it would be degraded even further.
So when was New York not failed? Because in the 70s, there were prostitutes all over Times Square. Drugs were worse. Crime was worse. Giuliani did, fix a lot of that stuff.
Giuliani did fix a lot. The 90s was actually the most. 1990 was the most murders.
Okay, the mafia was running it in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it was failed then.
I think it was better than it is now. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was better than, because here's the thing, right? So here's the difference. When the mafia was running things and they were involved in crime or whatever, they were killing each other. Right? They were like killing each other, like other made guys. Hey, you have a problem with this family, whatever. Yeah, the violence sucked and everything else like that. But it isn't like now. Like now it's worse because you're like getting, well, the 70s was the worst decade, by the way, for crime. But I think New York City has gotten worse as it's become more and more of a bro, mass immigration in itself creates a lot of problems.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I think, and New York City is like a beautiful personification of that.
Yeah, but
it's mass immigration creates problems.
People say that and then they go visit New York. And
so like us having this majority of guests has actually created a lot of problems for us because now everyone's like me and you.
Okay, so
learn English language, like assimilate to the culture,
should the guests
respect the culture.
Should the American guest, like who should be deported from America?
People that are here illegally. People that are here illegally. Yeah, get deported.
And what about the people in Dearborn playing, the Adon? Should they be deported?
If they're here illegally, yeah. If they're here illegally, yeah.
Okay.
But my thing is, like, I don't think it's fair to the other residents of Dearborn to play that down multiple times a day just because you enjoy a slight majority. It's only like 50, 60% Muslim majority there. And, well, excuse me, let me rephrase. It's 50, 60% Arabs and people from North Africa, which you can assume 90% of them are going to be Muslim. So you can assume that it's a slight majority. I don't think it's fair to the other 40% in the United States that they have to deal with listening to the Adhan 5 times a day.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, just to go back to, like,
because I truly don't think America is a Muslim country, and we don't have the number.
I just want to point this out because I thought they were going to expand on it further. When he mentioned, like, learning the American culture, there isn't an American culture. Mostly everything America has is from other cultures. There's not really anything that is considered part of American culture, unless you're talking about fast food. But, like, as far as, yeah, moving to a country and learning its language, that's common sense. But that's not really its culture. Like, there's so much diversity in America, it doesn't have one culture. So I don't know what he's talking about there.
But it's also not a Christian. It's not a Christian country. It's just not.
I think it's a Christian country, and we could disagree there.
But it's not in the Constitution. You don't have to say it to become a citizen.
I don't think
you
it
don't
has
need
to say,
declare it. There's freedom of religion and like that's the
yeah.
If you're actually going to talk about what it means to be an American, if you look at the amendments and you look at the rights that we have, it has nothing to do with being a Christian.
Not at all.
Again, just because it's not in the doctrine. Constitution, so to speak, right? Or maybe even.
So if it's not in the documents that made a country, then how is it a thing?
Even the Bill of Rights or whatever does
or
not mean
any of the
and they probably did that on purpose.
Paperwork.
And they probably did that on purpose, right?
To not declare it as a Christian,
yeah.
as a single religion's country.
Well,
that's the whole reason they did that. So I'm going to follow what the founding fathers said.
Yeah. But here's the thing: America does have an identity, whether people want to accept it or not. And this is where we can have the disagreement.
What's the identity?
The American identity is a majority white country that's a Christian nation. That is the American identity, unfortunately. And I'll give you an example of this. If you go to Japan or China or whatever, and you envision an American, what are they going to envision, right? At least now, they're going to envision, or at least historically, before the mass immigration, a Caucasian individual eating a hamburger that's fat. That's what they think of Americans. Hillbilly, whatever the fuck it may be.
Okay,
that's what people think of. And that is the identity of America. That's what it is.
A fat hillbilly, but not a.
I'm saying the stereotype. That's how they would stereotype it. But like they would envision a Caucasian American with an American accent, whatever. Like if you're trying to have the American, what's the word I want to use here? Like emblem, right? Like if you went to a country and you say you need someone to like be able to identify something right off without saying a word, what would you use? You would use a white person with some jorts, a cowboy hat, right? Maybe an American flag, and be like, okay, what is this person? An American, right? Yeah. That's what they would think, right? Versus if they gave me and you, it would be harder for them because they would be like, I don't know. We'd maybe have to speak English. These are the things they'd have to like figure out. They'd have to figure out that we're American. But if you're
if someone has an American flag, they're most likely American. That is an easy determination. Just like I see these two with an American flag in the back, I'm like, oh, in America, they're American.
Life depended on it, right? If let's say you played a game, right?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
I'm not.
And your life depended on it. And you needed the person to guess what you're trying to convey, or else you die. And what you needed to convey was an American. What would you draw? You would draw a white individual with some fucking overalls, cowboy hat, a fucking piece of wheat in their teeth, right? Maybe chewing some tobacco, maybe a little overweight, eating a hamburger, right? And an American flag. Because if your life depended on it, that's what you would use. You would not use me.
Well, if I could add the flag to it, I could draw anyone. I could draw a stick figure and put an American flag in the back. And they'd be like, oh, he's an American stick figure.
You would not use you. You would not use a Muslim. Even though these people can all be Americans. But there is a stereotypical image of what an American is. Now, let's be honest. That is changing because of mass immigration or whatever. But the reality is, when you think of an American, someone that hasn't been here before, that's what comes to mind. Okay. Country music, overalls, cowboy boots,
and anything
cowboy
that's
hat.
Not that should not be allowed in its asserting dominance.
I didn't say that it shouldn't be allowed. I said that I think
you said that they shouldn't be able to pray in public.
I think praying in public and disrupting others while praying in public is a problem.
No one was disrupted.
Bro, you're disrupting. You admitted it. 20 minutes disruption. I think it's still a problem.
Disrupting what? What does that mean? What does that mean?
People want to go to Times Square, bro.
They were Times Square wasn't closed. I agree that you shouldn't be able to like shut down streets.
Yeah.
If like whenever you want.
And just so you know, my haters, that's what they're arguing with me. It's like we should be able to shut down streets and do what we want to do.
But that's not what we did. You said that's what
not you. But like I'm
no, but you said that's what people in Times Square. That's not what happened. The street was still open.
Okay,
it's just the people that were gathered there. Okay, but it's just.
And here's the other thing too. They've definitely shut down areas in other places, whether in the UK. Playing that multiple times a day, playing it in Minneapolis, playing it in Dearborn, etc. This is all disruptive to other people that aren't Muslims. And I know you're saying, oh, it wasn't a big deal. We prayed in public. Like, it was 20 minutes, not a big deal, whatever. I still think that is disrespectful and rude because we know in a Muslim country, a bunch of Christians wouldn't be able to gather.
But you could do what you want in public like that. Like, I remember in 2011,
you would not be able to go.
An example.
I want to get 50 Christians and have them publicly gather and
they don't really pray like that.
And pray.
Christians don't.
And pray in a symbolic in a Muslim country in a symbolic area.
You said they would get beheaded if they did that.
I was exaggerating, but there would be problems. The police would show up and be like,
different countries have different rules. You're able to have public gatherings. You're able to have freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and all this other stuff. So it's not really disrespectful and rude to practice your religion, even if it's in public. You know how many people have walked up to me like, hey, I just want to let you know Jesus loves you. If I'm in the middle of shopping or something. And I'm like, yeah, I hope so. But, I mean, that's disrupting me technically from doing shopping. But I'm not going to call them disrespectful. It's not disrespectful. Did it intervene from what I was doing for 5 seconds? Sure. But it's not like my whole day is now ruined from it.
Get the fuck out of here.
If they were praying?
If Christians showed up, okay. If Christians showed up, let's say 50 Christians, right? What is the Times Square equivalent in
Also, you said if they did that in Mecca, then they would be beheaded.
Exaggerating.
That was a ridiculous comparison. Comparing Times Square to Mecca is
Times
ridiculous.
Square and Mecca is not the same. I mean, obviously, being hyperbolic and exaggerating. But let's go ahead and give a functional equivalent.
Times Square, okay, Riyadh.
Let's say,
Dubai. Actually, no, Riyadh's not even. I would say the closest example in the Middle East to Times Square is like the Dubai Mall.
No, that's not as symbolic.
Times Square.
Let's say,
the most commercial area in New York City.
Yeah, I'm trying.
How is Times Square symbolic?
In the Middle East, where would it?
Dubai Mall.
Dubai Mall is not it, man.
What's even close?
If we took an area,
he doesn't know.
Say maybe the Burj Khalifa or some shit like that in Dubai, UAE, right? Hypothetically,
that's not a commercial area. It's a one building. That's one building.
It's a tall skyscraper. I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is
okay. For 50 Christians pray outside the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah, if they prayed outside the Burj Khalifa out loud with speakers and shit like that,
no one cares.
I think the police would tell them, "What are you guys doing?" They would definitely be like, "What are y'all doing, bro?"
They say praying,
and they'd be like, "Yeah, y'all got to go to a church." Like there would be. They would not be able to do it as freely as you guys did in Times Square is my point. They would not be able to.
Well, America's a little different. I don't know if you see the freedom that a lot of people have over here, but anyone could kind of do whatever they want. So
there would like you guys are actually
would that be a faith thing or because
that's
the
a country
UAE is
thing.
much more heavily policed than New York?
Yeah.
Like well, that goes to my precise point that it's a Muslim country and they're not standing for that. Versus if you decided to pray, they wouldn't bother you.
If 50 Christians were standing there praying like this,
there would be and they had loudspeakers and all this other shit, bro. There'd be a problem in the UAE. There would absolutely be a problem. Versus and they had loudspeakers and they did what you guys did.
So your argument is that the US should be more like the UAE?
No, I'm saying that what I'm saying is that level of tolerance is not acceptable in Muslim countries, and it's unfair for us.
Because they don't have freedom of speech the same way we do.
Yeah,
like America is based off of free speech. That's why they can do that.
Yeah.
It's not really a faith thing. It's just it
has nothing to do with faith.
Well, again, like I said before, that would not be tolerated in a Muslim country.
But why that's not?
right? It would not be tolerated in a Muslim country, and we respect that
because because they have different rules.
Different
They don't have
law,
like freedom of speech doctrine the same way we do.
What is this guy
And
going
what
on
I'm saying
about?
is since they don't have that there, we can't come here and expect, oh yeah, well we want to go
I
ahead
was
and be
born
able to
here. I
do
didn't
whatever
come
we
here.
want. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about like the Muslims that come here that are immigrants and want to do what they want to do.
Most people that came to Times Square,
or even Muslims that are Americans.
Most of the people there were all born in America. Those
of course. But what I'm saying is that like that would not be allowed in another Muslim country. So I look at it like it's fair. Like if you can't do that, if Christians can't go to a Muslim country and openly pray the same way that Muslims do in the United States, I think it just shows respect to not openly do.
But anyone from any religion can pray however they want in America. So it has nothing to do with respect or disrespect. That's like the dumbest argument I've ever heard.
Do it here.
You know,
because we're guests.
There's more Christians.
Now, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. That's very important too. Just because you could doesn't mean you should.
Pray in public?
Yeah, just because you could, I don't think you should, especially as a guest. Because you could go to your friend's house, right, and kind of not put your shoes on, ask for extra food.
Yeah, I know, but
they're not going to want to have you back.
This, but this is not my friend's house. This is my country.
You see, that's
my country, man.
That's that entitlement.
It's
Why
your
niggas
country
hate Muslims, bro? This is why people don't like Muslims, bro.
Because
where's the contract? Put me and him in the ring right now. Let's go. What is this guy going on about? You know how many times I've seen giant groups of Christians? Is that being disrespectful? No. It's someone expressing their faith as they're allowed to do. Now, if let's say I'm blocking the road and people are trying to get to work, maybe someone has to go to the hospital, maybe someone's about to go into labor, and I'm blocking the road, yeah. That's disrespectful, but if I'm in a public area not causing any actual issues, what? I don't like this guy. I don't know who he is, but I don't like him.
Because I was born here?
No, because they have this mindset of like, oh well,
I'm not a guest. But you think if people hate me because I don't think like I'm a guest in my own country, then they can hate me.
But the faith is the religion. You are a guest when you practice the religion. You are practicing.
It makes me a guest to practice a different religion.
No. You're practicing a religion that is not the moral fabric of this country, and you're doing it. Especially here's the other thing.
There isn't a religion that is. There is not one religion of this country. Okay.
You're doing it openly when you have access to do it privately. That's rude and disrespectful to the host nation.
You've never heard of social gatherings? They happen all the time.
He's the main chef of DBK.
Just because you could doesn't mean you should. And that's the problem that a lot of these Muslim guys don't get. Like
praying is rude?
No. Publicly and disrupting others, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't find, and also you said asserting dominance.
And this is why so many people
don't. Praying is actually the most submissive thing you could do. Literally.
And this is why people don't like Muslims, because they have this mindset of we're gonna pray what we want, we're gonna do what we want to do, and y'all can't do nothing because it's a free country. Just because it's a free country.
That's not why people hate Muslims.
Doesn't mean this is a big reason why they dislike them.
People hate Muslims.
I've never heard someone say, "Hey, I hate Muslims because they pray in public." No one has ever said that. Ever. Yeah, Muslims because they hear from other people or they hear on the news.
I think you actually. I think you fell for the recent propaganda. Like so, right now, people are getting paid $7K to push Israeli propaganda. I think it's
of course.
I think that's part of it. Is making people.
Well, yeah, they're gonna make them hate Muslims.
Making people hate Muslims.
People,
you should. Man,
and bro, and this is why I'm saying these things. No, I'm saying these things because I don't want, because I know that they're gonna push this propaganda. I know they're gonna push it.
People hate Muslims because of 15, 20, 30 years of propaganda. Because of framing 9/11 and blaming all Arabs.
I don't care what religion someone is. If they want to pray in public, go ahead. Even when I was Christian, I wouldn't care. You could do it. You can do it. It would be disrespectful of me to try to stop that. I would be the disrespectful one if I try to stop someone praying. I don't care if it's in public or not. If it's in public, it's in public. There's not a rule against that. So,
9/11.
I agree with
They
that.
hate Muslims
100%.
because of Israeli propaganda.
100%
Not
agree.
because of people praying. Not because I prayed in Times Square.
No.
The hatred of Muslims has nothing to do.
Here's the thing. Here's
with
the thing.
100. Dearborn is 100,000 people. It's a small city.
Yep.
Like this, the reason you're saying it's because some people prayed in public when it's really due to the strongest propaganda machine of all time.
Absolutely. And I love that you said that. I understand as someone that worked in national security, that worked in terrorism, etc. Right? I understand this to a deep degree.
what did this guy do? How did he work in national security? Because, oh my God.
That other people don't. The disdain for Muslims, I agree with you. It came from the war on terror. It came from 9/11. It came from the propaganda and the lies that Israeli neocons push, saying Muslims are the enemy, Muslims are the enemy, Muslims are the enemy. I agree with you on that. What I'm saying is we already have a bad rap, unfortunately, in the West. Praying in public and disrupting people doesn't help our cause. Because I know how much they hate us, and I know that the Jews have been pushing this bullshit. I understand it.
I think it shows unification, which I think unification is very good and strong. And quite frankly, I don't care. If let's say it's time for me to pray, and I gotta pray, and I decide I'm going to pray in public because there is no better place, I would rather disrespect someone else than disrespect Allah. So I don't.
Disagree.
That's what I'm saying. Yo,
Even though it's not
already have a bad
disrespectful
rap
though,
here.
so
Why are we
Disagree.
going to go ahead
If
and
they
make
have
it worse?
They have a misunderstanding about us. A lot of people think it's this crazy. So the misunderstanding from the average American, they think Allahu Akbar is a call for terrorism. That really means
You're right,
God is
it's
the
a lie.
greatest.
Yeah,
So
lie.
when people in
I agree.
Times Square see, actually, I could tell you from experience being there, when they say like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "Oh, we're praying because it's Ramadan." They're like, "Oh, that's cool." When they learn what it actually is,
Yep.
it's like it changes their mind about it. Because a lot of people have this idea that it's a violent, oppressive, terrible religion,
Yeah.
and they see
Not
like,
true.
oh,
I
actually,
agree.
we're not asserting dominance, but doing the most submissive act, praying to God, putting your head on the floor. They're like, oh wow, wait, this is, and they hear the Quran, like, oh, this is kind of peaceful. I kind of like it. It changes their perception. It actually is dawah. So everything else going on in Times Square is chaos, is drug deals, it's just stupid stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, these people, what are you guys doing? They look over. I talk to people afterwards, like, this is a time where we're fasting and prayer is extra important right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we all got together to pray. And they're like, oh, it's kind of cool.
Fair. Now, I see your perspective, but this is New York City where people are liberal. They're more open-minded. They want to learn. Fair. But you got to understand that most of America isn't like that, unfortunately.
That's why I think that you fell for the propaganda. Because people use that on social media. I think these are 7K posts trying to and they put a caption like, look at them taking over Times Square. It's like, no, we didn't take over Times Square. We didn't disrupt anyone. This is a section where we just prayed.
Here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. I know that the propaganda is out there. So me and you have a different way to deal with it. I'm saying the propaganda is out there. Let's not make it worse. You're saying the propaganda is out there. Let's change their mind. I'm saying they're not changing their mind.
They are, though.
Like, we both agree.
They are changing their minds.
Let's see where we agree. Here's a common ground. We both agree that Jews pushed out anti-Muslim propaganda for the past 30 years. We agree.
Okay, let me just add this, even though he can't hear me. Let's travel back. We'll do even 10 years ago. Let's say 10 years ago, not a single person ever prayed in public. And not just as a Muslim, as any religion. Everyone of every religion kept their religion to themselves. When they wanted to pray, they stayed home or went to their respective building, right? How much different do you think the amount of people in those religions would be? Like, if you look at how many Muslims there were 10 years ago compared to now in the United States, do you think that would have been as significant if everyone just kept to themselves? No. So that's a stupid argument. You can't say that it's not working when clearly it is.
100%. I agree.
And a lot of Christians. Many
Sure.
Christians at the same.
I agree. They push out that we're violent. They push out that we're fucking heathens. That we're brutes. We don't understand. We don't understand.
And
peace.
now we're guests on our own home.
Bullshit. I agree with you that they've been pushing out this propaganda has been led by fucking neocon Jews. Agreed. Now your response to that is, let's get them to understand our religion and let's we pray.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be open-minded and they'll want to learn. Cool. Some people will. My argument is I think most people won't, and I think, given the propaganda that's been pushed in America for so goddamn long, that these fucking gay-ass Jews have been pushing, saying, Islam is bad, these guys are jihadists, they want to kill everyone, that these fucking gay-ass Jews have been pushing.
Is this guy actually Muslim? That's a real question. Is he actually Muslim? That's an insane comment, by the way. That is an insane comment that you just said.
Given the propaganda that's been pushed in America for so goddamn long, that these fucking gay-ass Jews have been pushing, saying, Islam is bad, these guys are jihadists, they want to kill everybody, etc.
It's not just Jews saying that. It's
it's a lot of stupid Christians, that evangelical Christians believed it as well. You're right. They've been pushing it. This is what a lot of Americans think. So when we openly pray, when we do these things, what do they assume? They assume that we're trying to assert dominance and we're trying to take the country over. And then you have other Muslims saying, we're going to spread Islam all across the place with this propaganda. Again, it's propaganda. I agree with you, it's propaganda. My argument to this push by the Jews now propaganda is we need to be measured and understand that we need to operate in a way where people don't understand the religion and most people don't care to understand the religion. You're operating from...
I don't care if most people don't. If let's say I'm in a room of 100 people, let's say 90 of them, not even 95, 99 of them say they want nothing to do with my religion, but one of them says they're interested, that's a win. That's a win. I'm always super big on open-mindedness, right? I've always had an open, is that like a word? Did I just make up a word? That sounded so weird. I've always had an open mind about everything. I'm not even I didn't say one person is like, yeah, I'm gonna be Muslim. Just one person say I'm interested, right? Having people with open minds creates a very strong connection. If everyone walked around with a closed mind, our country would be dead. I mean, it's kind of happening now. But like me, I've always had an open mind, which has helped me find what I believe is the way, right? Some people might think something else is the way. Perfectly fine. I'm not one to judge that. But if I'm able to say, like, hey, this is my religion, I want to show it to you. I want you to learn about it. And they're like, sure, I'll learn about it. Doesn't mean I'll be Muslim, but I'll learn about it. That's perfectly okay by me. You should want people to know what your belief actually is, instead of trying to hide behind a wall. Is this the dude that does the podcast? Maybe that's why he's like this. Maybe it's because he's stuck behind the camera and doesn't actually have any interaction in public with people. Only people he decides to get on camera. You should want people to at least, and I think everyone should be okay with what I'm saying. Like, I should respect anyone's beliefs. I don't care who they believe in or what they believe in. If they believe in it, they believe in it. It is not my job to say that's bad or good. I can have input, yeah, sure. But I'm not gonna put someone down for it. This guy is not... I don't think this guy's actually Muslim. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he is.
position of, yo, they want to understand, they should understand. That's the good way.
Maybe he's just not smart. That
bro,
could
if
be
you
that
wanted to understand the religion,
but I'm not going to
awesome.
play into the rage bait. Like, I'm not going to let that win.
I'm saying most Americans don't care and they don't want to understand.
I don't find that to be true. I think that this is an echo chamber on Twitter. I think that this is due to propaganda posts, and most normal people don't think the way that you see on the like a small minority online.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, it's a silent majority of people that do not like Islam, and they don't trust Muslims. They look at us like we're wild and we're.
So I guarantee most of the stuff he says, most people don't care about it. He still says it. It is literally actually it is very different, because this is supposed to be your religion. Do you think when the Quran finally when the Quran was here, it started with one Quran when it became in book form, You think if that person just kept it to themselves, we'd be where we are today? No. I don't know what this guy is getting at, or why he's getting at what he's getting at, but he's not smart. He's lacking intelligence, and I'm super confused on how he was working in national security, because that is insane.
Gonna take over and all this shit, and I think that us praying outside exacerbates the problem. And there's other ways to go about it.
Like, changing the narrative is not, being more submissive and like acting more like a guest and abiding by the lies and operating around that. It's showing the truth and being comfortable who you are.
I think it's operating on the reality of where we stand as a nation, where people...
Cowering is not the way to change it.
It's not about cowering. It's about understanding where you're at.
In private, like, I can only pray in private because I don't want the people who hate me to hate me more.
See, you're going extreme.
That's what you said.
It's about private.
You said you should pray in private so that people who hate me don't hate me more.
Go to the mosque.
Private.
Pray at your house.
Privately.
That's private.
So you're saying pray privately so people hate me don't hate me more.
Bro, we have a bad reputation. Do you think exacerbating the problem and praying out in public and blocking off streets and doing all this shit is the way to go? I don't think so. I think that makes people hate us even more.
Operating in fear because of lies is not the way to change it.
It's not about operating in fear. It's about
That's exactly.
We have got to the point where literally...
I think that's the end of the video. I don't want to hear you, buddy. I don't know who you are. I don't want you on my screen. Get out of here. Yeah, that's the end of the video. Okay. Wow. That was terrible. I think I need a break after that. Alright guys, well, if you liked the video, hit the like button. If you have any comments, let me know down below. If you think anything I said was incorrect, let me know down below. If you agree with me that this guy is delusional, let me know down below. Let me know what you want me to do next as well, and subscribe. And I will see you guys all later. Assalamu alaikum. I love you all. Goodbye.